when I said some heinous things about each other, it was not one-sided. You made statements about me being manipulative and me supposedly being a narcissist and you having evidence about X, Y, and Z from dating back from supposedly December. You made those statements, but no one recorded your lives because around that time, therapist, nobody was fucking with you. Even the people who you sit around right now were not your friends in March. They didn't sit around you in March. Those are the same people who had a lot of disgusting things to say about you, like I did in March. And that's the reality. However, I was vocal about the fact that I made a mistake about who you was as a person. I made that vocal in my live. I said it out of my mouth. I said it out of my mouth that I should have gotten to know you more. I said that. And the people, okay, how about this? The people who are actually in the garden, y'all, did I or did I not say that we got to be patient with therapists because we have to get to know her for who she is and not who she sit around? They saying, yes, I have said it. I have said it multiple times. And I've also, hold on, please. And I've also said, because I need to make sure that I'm lining it up so you can hear the full thing. I said that to them. And I also said to them, I shouldn't have been dogging her ass out the way I was, but I was mad. I shouldn't have did that. But I think therapist is cool. Did I or did I not say that, y'all? Did I or did I not say that? And this is before. Hold on. This is before me and you got the beefing. Before this whole Towelgate shit. I said these statements before the Towelgate shit. After that thing that happened with Friends with Attitude, I made that statement around that time. After that Friends with Attitudes interview, I said these things publicly. And I also said them to you in private. But because you didn't hear me say it in public out of your own, like, you didn't hear me say it, you think that I never said those things. And so you went around telling people that I was just out here just playing in your face when I had already made actions and statements saying that I made a mistake and I had to get to know you more. And my people was like, I don't know. And respectfully, yes. And you know, a lot of people in the garden do not trust you. They don't. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give her a chance because I fuck with her. She cool. I like her. I want to get to know her. And I didn't listen to what my comments had to say. I didn't listen to what my supporters were saying to me. And had I listened to what my supporters had said, I probably wouldn't have been in the predicament with the damn Towelgate. Had I listened to what my comments had said, I probably wouldn't be in certain situations. But because I fucked with you, I didn't care about what other people had to say. I chose to get to know you for you. Because people cannot dictate and run what I have going on in my life. And I thought that you were an asset to me. Because I enjoyed conversations with you. You are in the same field that I am pursuing. You bring a whole different level and a different dynamic to not only me, but also to my platform. But it's the fact that you went on a smear campaign because you were upset. You've never call you ugly. You never heard me call you. Do you realize that there are words to speak on you like that? You never heard me say that there are degrading things about you. You know what's crazy though? You know what's crazy? People act differently and people respond to things differently. For me, I'd rather say light shit than to completely tarnish a person's character. Therapist, the statements that you made about me would completely tarnish someone's character. No. If I had, hold on, because it's an echo. There's an echo. And so we cannot talk at the same. This is a conversation where we literally cannot talk at the same time. We cannot. You have made statements that will completely tarnish a reputation. Me in March calling you ugly and saying that you a trick and saying that I wouldn't fuck with you at the time that I wasn't looking at you, didn't give a fuck about you, didn't care about you because you went live on me and dogged me the fuck out, saying that I was manipulative to my supporters, that these parasocial relationships that I'm beginning to have with my supporters will not last, and I don't know how to build a community. These are statements that you made about me. You did say those things, therapist. You did. You made those statements about me.
And so when you made those statements about me and saying that I am also a bully, that paints a narrative about who I am as an individual. And so once you categorize me as a bully, manipulative, and a narcissist, and you being a therapist are making those claims about me, saying that I have these traits. You were heavy on traits because you said you didn't want to diagnose me. You said I have traits. I have similarities to these characteristics. Now we're teetering on you defaming my character, borderline defaming my character. And so once I hit you with the same words that you used on me, at that point, you did not like what I said out of my mouth when all I did was hit you with the same shit that you said about me. And no, I never called you a fake therapist. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Don't do that. But I will let you go. I'm a mute.
All right. So, as far as that goes, did I call you manipulative? Yes, but that's after your last Discord message to me calling me a manipulative narcissist. And then immediately blocking me. I'm like, how am I a manipulative narcissist just because I didn't see the lives where Trina was mistreating you on the lives because I wasn't aware of that live? And then you saw what I put in Nosy's comments as far as me saying Rose has hurt people too, because you had hurt me. That was before anything had came out. That was just me saying that after our Discord. Did I go live and give the timeline of how Creator 1, Creator 2, Creator 3, did I go live and talk about the timeline? Yes. But have I ever defamed your character? No. Right? Have I ever said Rose is manipulative narcissist? No. But you have said that about me in 4K. You have said therapist is a manipulative narcissist. Therapist is ugly. Therapist is a cash cow. Therapist is this, that, and the third. You have connected my name to everything that you've said negative about me, but then struggle to say positive things about me. And I've never struggled to say anything positive about you.
Okay, so I have a question for those in the comments. Have y'all heard me struggle to say positive things about therapists? Because for some reason, you're just never in the spaces when I'm speaking highly of you. And I don't understand because I say it publicly often.
I've never heard.
So you never hearing it means that it doesn't mean that it never happened. Y'all, from March till now, after March, have y'all heard me negatively speak on therapists? Because these people don't have no reason to lie on me. Have y'all heard me speak negatively on therapists? After March, have y'all heard me speak negatively on therapists?
No, you haven't.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Because these are statements that you have not only said to me in this live, but I am sure that you have made these same statements in your broadcast. I know and I'm well aware that anything that you're saying to me right now, you have said in your own broadcast in front of other people in other spaces. And so those people who go and sit in your rooms, them people don't fuck with me. So they gonna go with whatever narrative that you're saying because you do not know. So your assumptions is
what
leading
narrative?
this cannot be a conversation of we talking over each other because there's an echo. You're leading with your assumptions. I have never had a problem speaking highly of you. And even when we was beefing, I made sure to let the entire group of people, whoever came in my room, understand that you were never a cash cow for me and you were never a trick for me. I made that clear. I had no problem speaking to that. I also spoke to the fact that you were an intelligent woman, that you were kind, that you were sensitive to people's feelings, but I just don't feel like you've been sensitive to my feelings. And for some reason, the people who sit around you don't feel the need to relay those messages to you or screen record me speaking highly of you, even when me and you was beefing. Did I call you a narcissist? Yes, because I also said it to your face. I said that you was manipulative to your face. And I also said it to you in messages before I publicly said it out loud. I told you first. There was nothing that I said that you never heard me say out of my mouth to you first. And that's the problem that I had.
Except for the barbs recording. I didn't never say any
Except for what?
Except for the Barb's recording. I didn't. You have never said any of those things to my face.
You sat in a couple lives where I said those
things.
things.
Channel. I know I wasn't in there.
You have been in spaces where I said these same sentiments to you when we were beefing. If you do not remember, okay. But to say never when other people remember you being in the space, because I remember going live and saying everything that I had to say in that panel live, and you were in the room. And I remember you saying, wow, that's how you feel? Okay, then you went live. And then you started dogging me out when you were live. We were both going back and forth, therapist. It was never a one-sided thing where I was just dogging you out and you was just innocent. We were both going back and forth. And then I said, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm done. And I stopped. And you went on for maybe one more week and then it died the fuck down. That's what happened. We were going back and forth.
How were we going if I was there was no going back and forth.
You had a backup page, and I even showed screenshots of the backup page that you came in on, therapist.
Page in your room. You didn't see the backup page in your room. You saw it in no comments.
Because you went in on you came into my live on a backup page that was titled Janine. You came in on a backup page. That's how we knew it was you, because we had the screenshots of you in the spaces, not only in someone else's space, but also in mine. And I showed those. So I don't like the fact that you're forgetting that I know that you have another backup page that you came in on.
I know that you don't have a backup page. Everybody knows I have a backup page.
So the idea that you weren't in the space, oh, you came in. Did you stay? You may not have stayed, but you came in on that backup page and you heard me talking Cash Money shit and you went live. And yes, you were blocked on your main page, but not the backup page. And I didn't know about the backup page until someone screenshotted and said, this is therapist on her backup page. I said, I don't believe it. They zoomed in, showed me the picture, and then your name being, I'm not that therapist or not that therapist. So we knew it was you. It was the same kind of tag. We were both going back and forth. If you don't remember, okay. But to say it never happened is wild, because people remember me and you going back and forth and you going live.
I think our definitions of dragging are different. I think that's part of the breakdown, because I wasn't name calling you and speaking down on you as a person. I was just, saying, hey, this is what happened. This is how I felt. This person called me a narcissist, but wouldn't that be a narcissistic trait to whatever, that was 4 months ago now at this point. So I apologize for the things that I said. I don't have to, I don't feel that I need to try to make people believe that I'm right or anything like that. My whole thing was I genuinely cared about our friendship. What people do on TikTok, what people say on TikTok as outsiders looking in, that's their business. I'm not concerned with that. I thought, and that's what I was saying, I'm like, which is the real character? Which is the real person? The person that was talking Cash Money shit about me, calling me ugly, calling me this and that, is that the real person, or the person who I met in person? Is that the real person? Which one is it? And that's where I'm confused. For me, you see me be consistent, even in the wrongs that I've done. It's been consistent, right? So I haven't.
No, I have not seen you be consistent in your wrongs. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have not seen you be consistent. Now, the thing that's bothering me, right, is the fact that you're harping on statements I made when me and you were beefing, when me and you were going head to head, when me and you were both equally talking shit about each other, both having something to say about each other in a negative light. You're holding that because you feel like that justifies how you're feeling right now. It takes away from what truly had transpired with this Towelgate thing. You've not, the fact that you've deflected from what happened in the car, which is the actual problem, not the towel. It's what happened in the car, which is the actual problem. You've now deflected to, well, you said something in March and someone had a screen recording of you saying this thing in March. Okay. And then for some reason, you didn't acknowledge the fact that me and you were at odds in March, equally at odds, not one-sided, until people had to bring it up to you and then you acknowledged and admitted, yes, we were beefing. That is where the problem lies. The way that you have spoken to me and who I am as a person makes it seem like I just attacked you and came for you for no reason. Makes it seem like I just had this underlying issue with you from day one, which is not the case and has never been the case, because I never had no problems with you up until that situation where you claimed that I held a space for people to just attack you when the screenshots proved that that was never the case. That is where the problem lies, and you're holding on to that and it gives off that you want me to look like this terrible person to you. And then you're using the videos that people played for you as fuel to push this narrative that you have never wronged me or that you have never done any wrong. In the midst of this entire situation happening, you have rarely spoken to the statements that you said when you first hit the live button after I left your home, when you were talking about how you would have felt if you were in my shoes. Why haven't you spoken to those statements to acknowledge that, yes, my feelings are valid? You haven't really spoken to those for real. In fact, what you've spoken to is everybody else's statements about who I supposedly was to you when you've met me in person. You felt my energy in person. You've seen me defend you. You've seen me go to bat for you. You've seen me do these things for you. Even when you thought that we were at odds, I was still having your back. So you want me to put your feelings before mine. And that's not how that go. Have I acknowledged that you were hurt? For sure. We acknowledged that when we first had the conversation. This is the things that people do not know in public, that we had these conversations in private, and I validated your feelings privately, and I validated your feelings publicly. But you didn't feel that it was enough for you because you were embarrassed. And I understand. But to act like I never validated your feelings, that is asinine. And that I'm not comfortable with. I'm not okay with that.
And I don't know what to do about that because those are things that I haven't heard. I mean, yes, you did. As far as the comments that there's some things that you have said in private, yes, that do, but they did not directly speak to the things that happened publicly, right? You're saying you didn't mean, or you were saying what you said in March out of anger. Okay, cool. Does that take away from the fact that that still hurt me? No, it doesn't. But does that mean that it's worth healing from? Yes, it does. Right. As far as taking your feelings into consideration, I understand how you felt, right? I understand that you may have felt unsafe. Like I said before, publicly, I understand that you may have, both of our anxiety was really high, but we're not talking about me, we're talking about you. Your anxiety was high, right, in that situation. And it was just a lot of emotions going on. And I think in the moment, both of us, me included, was only worried about our emotions, right? As much as we may have wanted to be empathic to each other, it wasn't happening because we were both on high fight or flight mode, because of the things that was going on. I felt like we could have had a conversation about that. You did not, right? I'm a person that communicates, you know that. But I understand there are times where you're not able to communicate. But as far as the towel situation, I'm gonna just go through all three things.
Hold on. Before you go through all three things, I do want to acknowledge that, because I said if you want to make amends, it has to be just as loud as the things that you said in public. You told people that I was being extremely aggressive to you and I was screaming at you in that car the entire time. You painted me out to be the aggressor the entire conversation. And that was harmful to me. Why did you do that?
Because I knew you being loud for a majority of the time and yelling at me a majority of the time. Did you yell at me the entire time? No. But when you were saying things like, you gave me a dirty motherfucking towel, and this is your part, saying all of that, yes, I did start to shut down and detach.
So, and this is where I have a problem, right? This is where I have a problem, because it's the fact that you pick and choose what you want to speak to me supposedly yelling at. Why didn't you say that I was also triggered and I told you I am triggered and to leave me alone and to stop talking to me because you kept triggering and poking me? Why are you not speaking to the fact that when I actually yelled, it was me telling you to leave me alone? Why do you not? Why don't you speak to that? But you claim that I yelled at you about a dirty motherfucking towel. Why don't you speak to that part though, therapist?
I can.
You said you what?
I can. They won't be able to.
Okay, I would like for you to acknowledge that me screaming was me telling you to please leave me alone because you kept talking and kept poking. And when you spoke to me being this aggressor, you never acknowledged the fact that you were actively disregarding every boundary that I had set in that car before I got to a point where I was extremely triggered, where I was no longer receptive to anything else that you had to say to me. You didn't speak to that. The way that you say that you want to humanize yourself, when it was fitting for you, you dehumanized me to fit a narrative for you. That is hurtful. You didn't acknowledge Rose was actually triggered. Now in hindsight, I'm thinking about it. Yes, she did tell me that she was triggered. She did tell me that she couldn't handle it. She couldn't take it no more. She did tell me that to stop talking to her. And I did keep talking to her because I was worried about my feelings. She did tell me to stop. She did say, you didn't acknowledge that. You dehumanized me to humanize yourself, to make yourself more valid and your feelings more valid. And that's what's hurtful to me. That's what's painful. And even in the conversation after it, following it, right? Speaking about it after the fact, you still dehumanized me. Because I can understand in the moment, me and you both being triggered, me and you both feeling away, me and you both being hurt, me and you both feeling something. But even after the fact, I was still dehumanized. And that wasn't fair to me. So I'm a mute.
All right. So, I don't know that rehashing the details of exactly what happened and when is going to be helpful, but all I can do is take responsibility for my part. That's all I can do at this point. So I apologize for not acting faster in the car when you could have been scared, you could have been triggered, anxious, all of that. I apologize for not acting faster. I apologize for letting what was going on with me internally outweigh what was going on with you internally. I apologize for that. I apologize for going live and talking subliminally about you when I should have waited. That was my own a lack of emotional regulation, right? And I apologize, even though it's not about the towel is the catalyst. I apologize for not double checking. I do. Because that would not have been, like I said, you had clean sheets, a bed nobody's ever slept in, pillows nobody's ever slept on, clean, everything was clean. Yeah, that hurt me that I made that missight, right? But it didn't hurt me for me, it hurt me for you because I wanted you to be in a comfortable space. So I'm sorry for the amount of discomfort that I exposed you to. I recognize and realize that I made you feel uncomfortable and probably a slew of other things, right? But that's all I can do at this point is genuinely apologize for that. I'm just not the type of person that can be okay with knowing that I've harmed somebody, whether I meant to or not. So, that's all I can say is that I really and truly apologize about how I hurt.
So, I apologize for letting my emotions get the best of me in March and dragging you. I wasn't aware that it would hurt your feelings to the capacity of which it did in this present tense. I apologize for asking those 3 series of questions instead of just telling you the towel was dirty and it smelled. There is no justification for it. As I told you when it happened, I just didn't know how to say it because I knew that you were trying to make everything perfect and it would take away from you trying to make everything perfect. I didn't know how to tell you. And that's my fault. I shouldn't have been walking on eggshells to just express some simple shit. I also had to make sure that I'm regulating my feelings and not taking on someone else's emotions, right? Because yes, we both do have anxiety. Yours might be a little higher than mine. And so because I took on your energy and that was wrong of me. I shouldn't have did that. I apologize for allowing myself to get to a point where I could not regulate my emotions anymore. Because that was not fair to you. I realized that I have to work on my triggers because I thought that I had did enough healing until I felt like I was trapped in a car and I started reliving some trauma and my PTSD got the best of me. And I thought I was regulating my feelings. And I thought I was regulating my emotions. And in hindsight, I had completely lost it. And for that, I apologize.
Hello. Okay. And for both of us, we're both actions people. So actions just got to really speak louder than words. That's all that is. I think the words are a start, but I think on both ends, behavior has to be shown, which I don't mind doing that on my end. I've been my supporters know I've been talking about, we've been counting down the days till my next therapy session, because I know what caused my emotional dysregulation. And tomorrow I'll get to engage in an EMDR session to fix that immediately. But because I want to be a better person, right? I want to be a better person. I want to be a person that evolves and grows. I want to be a person that learns from their mistakes. I want to continue to be a person that, while it's not comfortable to be wrong, can stand on my 10 toes in my wrong and say, yeah, no, I was wrong for that. I was wrong for that. Period, point blank. It wasn't because you made me do X, Y, and Z. It's because I chose what I chose to do on my own from my own wounds, right? That's how you take self accountability. So at this point, like, I think both of our actions need to speak to if we really care about each other or not. And the actions will be the true verdict of if what our words are, if the words that we're speaking are true.
Now, I'm gonna be 100 with you, because at this point, that's all you deserve. Me being 100. My actions already started showing before we had this conversation. I have not spoken ill of you or went into spaces where people were discussing you or sat around people who were bashing you or could have bashed you or could have said something negative about you or could have done anything that pertained to speaking on you. I have not been in any spaces. However, you have. Now, I will say this. It is very difficult for me to believe and trust what you're saying and saying that you want action when you were hitting me up in private, but you were still sitting in spaces where people were dogging me, disrespecting my name, and you laughed. And so it's very hard to hear your words and believe that there is action when there was no showing before we even had this conversation. I ain't spoke on you. I ain't spoke negatively on you. I haven't spoken to you in subliminally. I haven't. But you have. Even up until recently you have. So how do I trust that you say that you care for me when we were at odds, and even with every conversation we had, you sat in spaces with people you know don't like me to validate your feelings?
And that's true. I did. I knew I was sitting there listening. I was in Heartbreakers Live when Hose Mad called us both ugly, right? She didn't just call, she was talking about both of us, right? So that happened. Um, yeah, I did sit there silently because I was hurt. And so I actively told myself to not say anything. I'm like, nope, nope, because she wouldn't do it for you. She wouldn't do it for you. She wouldn't speak up for you. She wouldn't stick up for you. So don't do it for her. So yeah, I'm going to be honest.
I have to stop you. I have to stop you because that's crazy. Because the only reason why I ain't gonna hold you. The only reason why me and you even made amends is because I was actively defending you. When me and you wasn't even friends, I actively defended you. So for you to feel and say to yourself, she would never defend me, she would never go so hard for me when I went hard body for you and me and you was not friends, is insulting as fuck. I'm not gonna hold you. That's so insulting. That is insulting.
I was just about to say that I was wrong. You know, I was responding out of real hurt. I was responding out of pain, you know? And so that's why I didn't say anything. That's why I did remain silent up until last night when, Jen came and tried to, I was like, nah, I can't even let you. And they even joke with me. They're like, we know you're trying to be cool with Rose. So it's like, no, it's not even about that. It's just right is wrong is wrong. If Rose don't like me, if she don't want to fuck with me, if she don't want to be my friend, then that's her decision. But still, right is right and wrong is wrong, right? So I was wrong. I was wrong for sitting there listening and not saying a word when I've told you that I really care about you as a person. Yeah, no, I was wrong for that. And I apologize for that. And there's just no excuse for it. And if you wanna if you believe it, then fine. If you don't, I understand that too. Oh yeah, if Rose doesn't want to be my friend, Bambi doll, absolutely. I've apologized to her now publicly and privately, or publicly with her and y'all. I've done that. Now if she chooses, if she, you know, wants to draw her conclusion, she is free to do that. She is a human being who has her own autonomy, just like any of us in here. So all I can do is clean up my side of the road. And that doesn't, if that's not enough, then I just have to understand that, right? I have to understand that. So she can choose what she wants to do as far as being my friend or not.
I think the problem that I've had throughout this entire situation is the fact that me wanting time, but me not giving you a specific time, then sends you into like a spiraling effect because you don't know what I'm thinking, what I have going on, what's going on in my head. And so you start to do things impulsively. And so it's very difficult to navigate my feelings if I'm not even able to sit with myself for even a day of processing what's going on. Because the only reason why we even got here is because I asked for a couple hours to myself. That's why we're here. Because I asked for time. Because I wanted to process. So it's like, how do I know that it won't turn into a thing again if I'm saying I just need some time to process, but I don't have a specific time or number for you?
So
So
I
I
all I
all
can
I
speak
can speak
to,
to.
hello. All I can speak to is the fact that not only myself, but my therapist even bought out, like, hey, why did you react so quickly? And that's how we got to what we're going to be processing tomorrow, the trauma that caused me to react so quickly, right? So all I can say is that's what I'm doing, but it's not something that you'll be able to see, like that therapy session. You probably don't know how that modality even works. Most people don't. It's not, that wasn't a dig. That's just, I mean, if you're not a therapist, and even some therapists don't even know, because they're not trained in EMDR, they don't know how it works. So that's all I can say as far as resolve. And I care enough to do that for myself first, and then you and other people that I care about secondarily. So that all I can do is show actions if I'm given the opportunity, but if I'm not, I have to understand that, right? You're like, how do I know? You don't know. You don't know. So if the fact that you don't know is like, I want to back up from that, I can't do nothing but respect that.
Okay.
That's all I
That's all
had.
I had.
If you would like to talk further, then you more than welcome to reach out to me. If you have my number and everything, you can reach out to me. If you choose not to, that's fine too. I understand. better back in your house. Nothing, I just wanna keep you around. Could we pour something we can barely pronounce? It was difficult to say I love you out loud. Been a minute since the winter took the love route. But you visit and you kiss away my self-doubt. Me closest to the syrup when we go out. You see me in everything you do, how you call my name. Sunday afternoon, come and make it rain. Let the flowers bloom, ease my pain. Always tell the truth, can you answer me? Yeah. What is it you see? What is it you see? Tell me, what do you believe in? You keep your schedule free for me. I love it here, you please me. Get deep for me. This kind of love is free. Listen, you can speak to me. Tell me what it is you need from me. In any other universe, I'll find you. I'm falling, you're my favorite thing to cling to. You love me with my past, but I can't undo. The future sin. Everything you do, how you call my name. Sunday afternoon, come and make it rain. Let the flowers bloom, ease my pain. Always tell the truth, can you answer me? Yeah. What is it you see? What is it you see? Tell me, what do you believe in? What do you believe? You keep your schedule free for me. I love it here, you please me. Get deep for me. This kind of love is free. This kind of love is free. Get deep for me. Tell me what it is you need from me. What is it you see in me? Tell me, what do you believe in me? Would you keep your schedule free for me? I love it here, you please me. Go on, get deep for me. This kind of love is free in me. Go on, listen, you can speak to me. You can speak, tell me what it is you need from me.
Kaylan, stone boy from Ghana, Africa. We take them to the island. We dance them. Yeah. I'm sincerely in love. Everything that you are, it's been that way from the start. You got my heart, and even if I give you space, Lord knows I'm never too far away. Nobody could ever take your place, and I'm lying when I say I don't care, or that I'll find someone who'll be there, or that I'll share the love I give to you, babe. I know I misbehave. If I'm lying, then I'm dying when I say nobody loves you like I do. If I'm lying, then I'm dying when I say nobody loves you like I do. Yeah. Lately I've been watching what I say, 'cause I wouldn't want it any other way. Gotta move, but maybe put up where you stay, 'cause you seem to think I'm playing games. I can't tell no lie, I want you but for more than one night. Promise that I treat you right. Thought I was in love, but it turns out that I wasn't like. If I'm lying, then I'm dying when I say nobody loves you like I do. If I tell you that I never want you, if I tell you that I never need you, I would be lying to myself, hurting myself in my heart, getting know with you. I cry every night, let me eyeballs get red. Every time when we fight, me love my feeling comes back stronger. And that make I know, say me love you for sure. And I woulda never let you go. More than the situation, I woulda knock her rock bottom. But my love is safe and secure. Nobody can replace you, no. Nobody can take your place. If I lie, then I die. If I lie, then I die. If I'm lying, then I'm dying when I say nobody loves you like I do. If I'm lying, then I'm dying when I say nobody loves you like I do. Yeah, a lot of times we just can't get some things of our hearts because we don't control those things, and those things control us. You get me?
I had to take a walk, y'all. I had to take a walk. I had to go touch some grass real quick. You need me to get that shit together so we can get together. You need me to get that shit together so we can get together. You need me to It's so crazy. I had took some notes because I be doing like shadow work for myself. I guess, you know, that's unorthodox. I feel like people, I understand that everybody needs a therapist. I get everybody needs a therapist. I know I am not above having a therapist. I also know the spiritual work that I have to do within myself. And I also ain't found a therapist I like. No shame. I don't know. I be thinking I like somebody, and then like if something happened, I'm like, nope, it ain't meant to be. I've had therapists, y'all. I've talked to therapists. I've had conversations with therapists. The longest consistent therapist I ever had, I think I was with her for about 2 years, 2-3 years. I've had therapists. I'm. Done already, cuz. But I know the spiritual work that I have to do. And as unorthodox as it sounds, when I do spiritual work within myself and I do my shadow work within myself, a lot of shit clear up. The work that I've done on me is why I'm even in the predicament that I'm in right now when it comes to my mentality. Why my emotional maturity is where it is. It wasn't no therapist that did that. Respectfully. That therapist wasn't even tapping into the shit that I really, my deep rooted shit. It was me. I had to tap into that shit. And I think a part of the reason why I want to be a therapist is because I know what is lacking. And I want to do for others that I wish a therapist fucking did for me. So the shadow work that I've done to get myself to this point, I ain't above no therapy. I'm not above therapy. I'm not above having a therapist. But I know myself. And I know how stubborn I am. And I know that unless I tap into it myself, it ain't gonna be shit. I feel like the only way the therapy would be, I would have to have a holistic spiritualist therapist. Like a real deal bitch who is in full spirituality to be able to talk to me. I ain't found that yet. And when I thought I had one, it was some weird shit, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know about that. For real. But here's what's crazy. So I want to take y'all into what my shadow work looked like, right? So I was doing some like deep rooted like searching for myself because it's so crazy. It's so crazy. I'm gonna just read it for y'all because I took notes. Right? Nah, for real. For real, goddess. So I'm gonna just read it, right? So I'm just gonna take y'all on a little ride of how I get myself to a certain point. And everybody's way is different. Okay. So an apology is not open to repair that connection. An apology is not enough to repair that connection when harm, consideration, or distrust has become a part of that dynamic. An apology is not enough to repair the connection when harm, consideration, or distrust has become a part of that dynamic. It may be part of it, but without acknowledging how we may have hurt a person with our words, the apologizing and then atoning is the action. So you have to be able to atone for your actions, atone for how you've hurt someone. So I was like, what's atoning? Like, what the fuck is atoning? Atoning means to make amends or reparations, right? So what does atoning look like? What's the steps of atoning? Forgive yourself. You have to be able to accept responsibility for what happened, apologize, and then treat yourself with kindness. Learning from your mistakes is the second step, which means you have to change your behavior to avoid similar situations in the future. Acknowledge what you've learned from the mistake out loud. The next step is to seek forgiveness. If you hurt someone, you apologize immediately and unconditionally. You acknowledge to that person, you speak to that person that you acknowledge that you have offended and try to make it easier for them to forgive. Not for you, for them. You already worked on you. You done did you first. You done looked in yourself first. So now you have to make it easier for them to forgive you. How do you prepare a table for somebody to forgive you when your actions have shown multiple times? Because at this point, learning from your mistakes is something that has been shaky. So you have to get back to the steps of going back to forgiving yourself. So then the question lies, have you truly forgiven yourself? Because these are the steps to make sure that everything is, the atonement actually happens. So I forgive myself. I learn from my mistakes. I seek forgiveness. Okay. Most people skip this step. Learn from your mistake. They skip the forgiveness of yourself first. And they go straight to seek forgiveness. That's putting someone else before yourself. The first two steps is paying attention to you. The first two steps is paying attention to you. Forgive yourself. Look in yourself. Okay, what the fuck? What I'm on? Why I get to that point? What caused this? How I get here? Okay, what comes to mind? This situation. Okay. Why I feel so strongly? Because this, that. Okay, write that shit down. All right, this is what I was doing. This is actively what I was doing. Write that shit down. Okay, where was I? I wrote that down. What house was I in? Wrote that down. What did I go by at that time? Wrote that down. What was going on? Wrote that down. Whether it be what was going on in school, what was going on in the house, wrote that shit down. Okay, this is the root. Were you feeling hurt around this time? No. Okay. Okay, so we got some work to do. So let's go ahead and see why we feeling how we feeling. Are you beating yourself up about this? Yeah, throat slayer. This is my shadow work. I got the shadow work book and I ain't even opened that shit yet. I had a woman by the name of Master Fundi Fee, who taught me how to shadow work. For me. Her name is Master Fundi Fee. Taught me how to shadow work. And I told her, I said, you should have made a fucking book. Because somebody didn't try to beat you to it. This is how she taught me how to shadow work. Where was I? What I felt, what I was going by? What was my name at the time? Did I have these friends? Who were these friends? Were these friends actual friends to me in hindsight? I'm thinking about all this shit. Just because one little thing done got me to a certain point. So, you got to forgive yourself. Learn from your mistakes. Seek forgiveness. And I feel like it has to be in this order. That's just me. I feel like the order should be forgive yourself first. And it should be learn from the mistake, because that means you have to now think about it. You have to process that shit, right? Seek forgiveness. If you hurt someone, apologize immediately and unconditionally. But the only way that you can apologize unconditionally is if you first acknowledge and love yourself first. If you don't fully love yourself the way that you're supposed to, you're going to have conditions with all type of love that you give others and the type of care that you give others. There's a condition there's a condition behind everything that you do. Because you ain't fully healed within you. And you will never be fully healed. It's a healing process. So you will never be where you want to be or where you should be. Not even want to, where you should be, until you fully have understood your own shadows and your own traumas and your own PTSD and the shit that you got going on. And this before a therapist, respectfully. This is before a therapist. Because respectfully, a therapist gonna tell you similar shit. But who gotta do the work? Who has to do the work? Me. They can't tap into shit unless I give them access. They can't tap into shit unless I give them access. Trina, please get out my live. Sweetheart, I see you in the comments. Please get out my live. Please, sweetheart. Just go ahead, slide to the left. Reverse. You still sitting here. Trina, please leave. Please leave, sweetheart. You still sitting here. Please leave. I can see you. I can see you in my views. Please leave. Maybe there's something you need to hear. All right, Tony. There might be something you need to hear. Fuck it. Tony. Forgive yourself. Learn from your mistakes. Seek forgiveness. And then make amends. Which is, you have to be able to go beyond an apology and take steps to correct your mistake. But you can't force a person to accept whatever the action is for you making amends. At this point, you have to be able to understand that it is a process for them, not for you. You already did the selfish acts of you, forgiving yourself, learning from your mistakes, understanding you, shit like that. right? Now that you've done your selfish stuff first, you have to now be selfless. You have to now be selfless. Okay, I'm gonna try this. Let's see if they okay with it. Let's see. Nope, they ain't feeling it. Okay. Let me try this. Let's see if they take it. Okay. Okay. They like it a little bit. Okay. I ain't gonna do too much, but they like it a little bit. Okay. It's like how I explain it. It's like trying foods with your toddler. You know, you get to start after you do the allergy test with your baby. Once you do your allergy test with your baby, you get to trying them with solid and soft foods and shit. It's like that. That's the best way I can explain it. Y'all ever seen when a toddler, a baby is learning foods and shit? Not even a toddler, but a baby is learning like textures and shit like that. And they might like mashed potatoes, but they don't like mashed collard greens. I mean, not mashed collard greens. They might not like mashed cauliflower, but they like the mashed potatoes. But even though they don't like mashed cauliflower, they like grits. You just can't understand how the fuck. It's like that. But you don't get mad at the fact that they like grits more than they like mashed cauliflower, because you feel like mashed cauliflower will probably taste better in your mouth. It ain't about you. What you like don't matter. You're actively realizing that another individual is learning what feels good to them based off of what you've done. Because you the one that mashed up the damn cauliflower. You didn't give it to them whole. They didn't like that. But if you give it to them whole and they eat that, then you gonna be mad. Well, I just gave you mashed cauliflower, but it didn't taste the same. It didn't feel the same. The way that you manipulated it, I didn't feel it. I didn't like it. Is that making sense to y'all? It might be the same thing that you want to give them, but in a different approach. You got to give it in a different approach. Because at this point, remember, you've broken something. You've broken something. So you have to be able, you've broken new land, right? You've introduced something that they weren't expecting. This person has been used to the milk that you've been giving them the entire time, and then you decided to go from titty to bottle, and now from bottle to cup, from cup to spoon, and they don't know what the fuck is going on. Because I just remembered I was drinking milk, and now you didn't hit me with a fucking spoon. What the fuck is this? We ain't had no conversation about no spoon. You just gave me a damn spoon. Because you said it was my time. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas is confused. So you've done something that completely altered their reality. And so you can't get upset at how they respond to the new shit that you're giving them based upon the changes that you made. Who's to say that baby wasn't hurt that you took their bottle from them? Your intentions wasn't to hurt them. It was your intentions was to help them. But the impact of you taking the bottle hurt that baby's feelings. Even though you're giving them solid food, it hurt their feelings. They are in distress. Hopefully that makes sense to y'all. If it don't make sense to you, I don't know what to tell you. This is how my mind works. Okay? This me doing my shadow work. I'm just letting you in on mine. Okay? All right. So, we forgave ourselves. We've learned from our mistakes. We're seeking forgiveness. That was easy. Thank you. You're welcome. We're seeking forgiveness, and now we are making amends, which, like I said, we're going beyond apologizing. We're taking steps to correct the mistake, however that looks like for you, which means that that's an out loud thing. To correct the mistakes is an out loud thing. It's an out loud gesture. It's an open, broad gesture. It's a standing outside in the rain with a boom box on your shoulder, singing the favorite song. Gesture. Make sense? What's up, Black Diamonds? That's the only way I can break it down for like a childlike term. So, but it's not a gesture that you only do one time. That's not how that. I think where people mess up at is that when they're trying to make amends, they only do one gesture and they're like, oh, well, you didn't take it, you didn't like it, so what am I supposed to do? No. Remember, this is a selfless act, which means that you are now trying to figure out how to create a easier space for them to forgive. Remember that seeking forgiveness goes hand in hand with making amends. Remember, when we're seeking forgiveness, we're trying to make it easier for them to forgive. So it's a constant thing, but you're not doing something that completely makes you like have to be devout to the person. It's not like that. You're not giving your life over to this person. It's not like that. You do it within bounds. You do it within bounds. If it's hurting you, actively hurting you, like taking away from you to some capacity, like emotionally taking away from you, energetically taking away from you, like it's hurting you, then you stop. But if it's not doing that to you, you're just being lazy and you want somebody to just be forgiving, just period, and just accept you back with open arms because that's how you act, then it will never be what you want it to be. And that relationship or friendship will never happen the way that it needs to happen. Because it's not about you. It's not about you. It has everything to do with them. You're making it easier for them to forgive you. Which means that it has to be a constant act. There has to be a constant. There has to be a repetition, right? Because at this point, there is now an expectation. And people don't fully understand what expectation means, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna define what expectation is, because for some reason people are like, you shouldn't have expectations. Then that means that you don't have consistency in your life. That means you lack stability. If a person is telling you that you should never have expectations, that person lacks stability. That is dangerous. That person is speaking from trauma. I don't know no therapist or no holistic person that's telling you you should never expect. What the fuck do you mean? What do you mean? It doesn't make sense. An expectation is a strong belief of something that will happen or be the case in the future. An expectation, a strong belief that something will happen or be the case in the future. A belief that someone will or should achieve something. So, if I know that you always come home around 6 to 8, and if you don't come home within 6 to 8, you always communicate with me and tell me. And the first time you come home, you outside of 6 to 8, I'm worried. Did I have an expectation? Yes or no? Why did you say no, Carol? I want to know why. If you think no, I want you to tell me why. Y'all answer the question. Yes or no? Because we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Same old stuff. The mood is yellow, baby. To match my yellow, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If I say so. Cause it's painful. So the reason why there was an expectation, no, okay, so my question is, okay, so the statement was made, the statement is, if my spouse always comes home from 6 to 8, and if they don't come home around 6 to 8, they always contact me and tell me the reason for why or when they're coming home or around the time that they're coming home. And for the first time they come home outside of 6 to 8 and they do not contact me, do I have an expectation? Now my question for you is, was me having that expectation wrong? Okay, Black Diamonds. Was me having that expectation wrong? And if it's not wrong, tell me why. If it is wrong, tell me why. If you constantly come home at 6 to 8, you usually contact me and tell me if you're not coming home around this time. And the first time you don't come home and you don't contact me, but I have an expectation of you coming home. You don't come home. Am I wrong? You expect this person to come home. So if this person doesn't come home, something is wrong. Now, what does that then signal to your mind? Something's wrong, right? I'm walking with y'all with it. I want y'all to understand. My brain now processes something is wrong, correct? There's no communication anymore. You haven't come home. I'm looking at my watch. It's past 9 o'clock. You haven't called. I'm expecting you to be home. You're not home. I'm expecting a call. There's no call. My mind then goes into worry. What happens when you worry? There may be panic, concern, distress. I'm conflicted because at this point, you're thinking of all the things, well, this could have happened, well, that could have happened, but also that could have happened, and then this could have happened. Okay, but this could have happened, and that could have happened. Diarrhea. Anything could have happened, right? But now your mind is wandering. Now your mind is going through all kind of shit because the person had been communicating with you or had been giving you something that was constant. So when the constant thing stops, your mind starts to spiral. So if I'm always doing a thing, but if I'm always doing a thing, an expectation is natural. It is not unnatural. It is not toxic to have an expectation. You have to have expectation within reason. We're not talking about wild ass expectations that just don't make no damn sense. Just assuming shit that nobody has never showed you, right? We're not talking about a person who hasn't given you a routine, who has not been constantly doing something over and over and over again. We are creatures of habit. So if we are creatures of habit and you have a pattern or you have a certain routine about you and then you break the routine, how do you think people know that somebody cheating on them? How do you think people figure out before they actually see the shit? How do you think people figure out that somebody is cheating on them before they actually see the evidence? You broke a routine. You broke a pattern. The constant shit you was doing, you switched it up. Something didn't make sense because we are creatures of habit. I'm picking up on a slight change outside of your intuition. Outside of your intuition, a human being's pattern. They telling themselves based off their pattern. Little things like you usually tie your shoes. Why aren't your shoes tied? You get in the house, your shoes untied. You usually tuck in your shirt, but your shirt is half in, half out. That ain't intuition, that's you observing. You see inconsistency because I know how you left up out this house. Your first question gonna be, where the fuck you been? You all right? So once you have a routine, I'm going to expect it to do the thing that it does. And if something comes out of that routine, it might throw off the entire cycle of how you do your day. Let's say, right? Because some people are more sensitive than others. Let's say I always kiss you on your forehead. I'm always kissing you on your forehead. And then I stop. Will you acknowledge that there's a problem? There's an inconsistency there. You always kiss me on my forehead. Why are you not kissing me on my forehead no more? What's wrong with you? Nothing's wrong. Why you don't want to kiss me on my forehead no more? I do, but you ain't kissed me on my forehead. I feel like in months. What's up? You all right? What's going on? No, I'm chilling. Okay. Why you don't kiss me on my forehead no more? You notice shit like that. As a woman, do we not notice shit like that? You used to like holding my hand. You don't like holding my hand no more. You notice that shit. The motherfucker used to grab your hand to hold your hand. Now they don't grab your hand to hold your hand no more. You gonna notice that. It's a routine. It's a pattern. It's a habit. It's something that they always do. When they switch it up, you notice it. You might even be hurt by it. A switch in routine hurts your feelings. Why do it hurt your feelings? Because you've broken a routine, a habit. You've broken it. It's painful, like almost like breaking an addiction. Y'all see what I'm saying? I'm hoping I'm making sense here. All I'm saying is, when you making amends, there has to be a consistency. There has to be consistency there. Now, the next step, so we have forgiveness, learning from your mistakes, seek forgiveness, make amends. The last step is be kind to yourself. Which means that you have to remember that everyone makes mistakes and it's okay to be imperfect. But what you shouldn't do is express those things to that person while they're trying to get into a space of healing and also forgiving. So the most disingenuous thing you can do when a person has big feelings about something that has happened is to be like, I'm not perfect. Okay, we know that you're not perfect. Right, Bambi? Because what that's doing is that is taking away from how that person feels. They're allowed to have their big feelings, like how you're allowed to have your big feelings. I'm not perfect. We all make mistakes. Those are things that you say to yourself in your head, or to your therapist, or to your practitioner, or whoever you fuck with. That's something you don't say to the person who has been wronged. You be kind to yourself, not to them. Because you being kind to yourself to them, you're then taking away from their experience. And it diminishes everything that has happened and invalidates how they feel. I'm human. Keep that shit to yourself. You say those things to yourself, not to them. Because what happens is you saying those things then shows them that you don't truly understand how they felt. You invalidate their feelings when you try to be kind to yourself to someone else. Right? All right. So then, throughout my little research that I was doing, I came across something called the 3 R's. Right? I came across something that was called the 3 R's, written by this man named David Hawkins. And so the first R is remorse. Remorse. So, number 1 is remorse. A sincere expression of remorse is a simple statement that you are truly sorry for what you've done without excuses, dismissal, or rationalizing what happened. The mistake that a lot of people make when they're supposed to be being remorseful is they try to rationalize why this thing happened. What does rationalizing look like to y'all? Put it in the comments. Put examples in the comments so I know what you know what I'm saying. What does rationalizing a situation look like to you? Do y'all know what rationalizing means? Compromise understanding. Making excuses. Excuses like what? Let's say justification simply. Okay. Y'all got it. Y'all have. So excuses, dismissal, and rationalization. So an excuse is one thing, to rationalize is another. Right? So let's define what rationalize something is. To rationalize is to explain or to justify. An excuse is one thing. Why you ain't pick up the clothes? I'm sorry, I ain't pick up the clothes. I was playing a game and it got past me. That's an excuse. That's an excuse. But an attempt to explain or justify. I ain't pick up the clothes because I know that the clothes was dirty and I figured that as long as it's in the area where the clothes is supposed to be at, where the dirty clothes is at, then I'm going to just leave it right there. Why are you tripping off of me? It's where the dirty clothes be at. Why are you sit here doing all this shit? Like, chill. It's not that deep. It's over there by the dirty clothes. Like, you got to chill. It's not that deep. It's where it's supposed to be at. It's just not in the bin. So you tripping because it's not in the bin. Like, it's close to the bin. It's right where the bin at. Dirty clothes is right there in the bin, and it's right there. That's rationalizing and gaslighting. Amen. Who just got triggered on accident? My bad. I didn't mean to trigger y'all like that. Oh, somebody in this motherfucker like, bitch. Yeah. That shit went crazy, didn't it? It went crazy, didn't it? That just went crazy as hell. Like, nigga, you wrong. Why you ain't just put the... Alright. So that's rationalizing. 9 times out of 10, it's somebody being gaslit. 9 times out of 10, you being gaslit when somebody get the rationalizing why something was what it was or why that happened how it happened. It's gaslighting, right? So the second R is responsibility. So the first R is remorse. Like I said, a simple statement that you are sorry, you are truly apologetic about what happened. With no excuses, no dismissal, or rationalization. So, remorse is, I hurt your feelings, you told me that I hurt your feelings. I am truly sorry for hurting your feelings. I understand that my work, and I know that I wasn't thinking. I know that I wasn't thinking before I made certain actions or certain statements to you. And I see how that can be offensive. That was not my intention. I don't want to hurt you. I apologize. Do you know there are like stages of apologies? Like, you have to acknowledge that you hurt them. Speak to it. Make sure that you don't do that shit again. And then, like, hope that the motherfucker accept it. And even if they don't, it's okay because you have tended to you first before you made that apology. It's a whole lot of layers to apologizing. But do you know that there are some people who don't understand apologies, and that apology wouldn't have been enough for somebody? That apology wouldn't have been enough for somebody. You know that what it did? Attack it. Well, why you ain't speak to this part and this part and this part, and you doing this and you doing that? It's one thing for a person to say they sorry and not speak to how each statement could have affected. It's another for them to speak to it, actively speak to it, and you don't accept it. Now, one thing that people don't realize when it comes to apologies is that a lot of times people dismiss a whole lot of shit in their apology and claim that they not, but they are. And it's gaslighting. As to why a lot of people don't, as to why people don't accept apologies. As to why I don't be accepting apologies so easily. Because I will hear you deflecting from something that happened while you're supposedly giving an apology. And most people are stuck on the I'm sorry or I apologize, and I'm more focused on the other words that you're using. So I can see if you're actively accepting and acknowledging, or are you dismissing but claiming that you're apologizing? Most people are okay with just I'm sorry. I'm not. I ain't gonna hold you. Because once I pick up on the fact that you've deflected from some shit, I hear you. At this point, your actions gonna have to show me, baby. Your actions gonna have to show me, because your words ain't hitting on shit. They ain't hitting on shit. And I'm good with words. One thing my mama taught me was words. My mama said, well, all else fails, the words not. And once the words tell you what the fuck going on and them actions don't match. So my grandmother told me that your words are your contract. Your actions are based upon the words in your contract. That shit was so deep to me when I realized what the fuck she really said. That shit was so deep to me. My grandma said, stop agreeing to these contracts with people. Oh, what you mean by that? You'll see. What's up, daytime? So yeah, you gotta be real careful, right? So the next R, number 3, is restitutions. Hey, that's you. Restitutions. We are willing to take whatever steps are necessary to make it up to the injured person, to listen to what they need from us. We humble ourselves. We listen to what they need to feel safe again. We are paying back for something that we have taken from them. That's heavy. Most people don't do that. You know, a lot of people say, well, you apologize. What else do they want from you? Move on. No, that is not how that works. No, because those are just words. No. It says we have to be willing to take whatever steps are necessary to make it up to that injured person, to listen to what they need from us. We have to humble ourselves, and we have to listen to what they need to feel safe again. We are paying back something that we have taken away, which means that if a person says, you know what? I want you to write me a 4-page letter. I want you to write me a 4-page letter. Explain it to me why you ain't gonna never do that dumbass shit again. You say no. All right. Well, I guess you don't give a fuck. They wrong for feeling like you don't give a fuck? The question then becomes, what are you willing to do for that person? Because I ain't gonna lie. I'm a kind of person where I want to see what you're willing to do. Fuck that. Show me what you're willing to do. I'm very big on show me what you're willing to do. Show me. Do it. Show me. Because at this point, the words that came out of my mouth to stop you from doing the actions that you did, the boundaries that I had set, you already broke them. You already know what it is that I like and do not like. Show me what the fuck you know about me. Show me. Show me. Because you already listened to the shit that I did and didn't like. You already knew. You broke that. So at this point, that is where the restitution lies. You got to take the necessary steps. Because you the one that did the injury. You got to fix the problem. It's not a, well, you're the one that's hurt. You need to fix it. Now, fuck that. You hurt that person. So you must fix it. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. If you pushed Humpty Dumpty, you gonna try to put Humpty Dumpty back together again because you pushed Humpty Dumpty off the fucking wall. If Humpty Dumpty had fell on his own, then you shouldn't be trying to put Humpty Dumpty back together because Humpty Dumpty need to put himself back together for falling off the wall on his own. But if you pushed Humpty Dumpty and Humpty Dumpty had the great fall, all the king horses and all the king's men can't put Humpty Dumpty back together again because you the one that hurt Humpty Dumpty. Is you understanding me? You hurt Humpty Dumpty, not the king's horses or the king's men. You hurt Humpty Dumpty, so you put it back together again. You. That's why the king's horses and king's men can't put it together again, because it was something that you did. You knew what you did. That's a word now. That's a word. Y'all not hearing me. Y'all not hearing me. Huh? That's from Galatians verse 30, chapter 30, verse 4. Galatians chapter 30, verse 4. You can't put Humpty back together again if you ain't the one that hurt Humpty. Humpty was hurt by you, and you need to put Humpty together. So you got to do whatever it takes to get Humpty back together again. Or you don't give a fuck about Humpty. If you don't give a fuck about Humpty, just say that. Don't sit up here and act like you fuck with Humpty. You don't fuck with Humpty, okay? Humpty don't deserve that. Like what? These people is crazy. I'm gonna read restitutions one more time. Being willing to take whatever steps that are necessary to make up for the injury that you caused an individual. You gotta be able to listen to their needs because you knew what the fuck they was before you made the oopsie. You knew what they needed before you made the oopsie. And if you didn't know what they needed before, then that sounds like some shit that you got to do. It sounds like you need to go ahead and relearn them. Right? It sounds like you need to start relearning them. You need to go ahead and go back to the drawing board. If you don't know what to do to get Humpty Dumpty back together again, then it sounds like you need to go back to the drawing board and relearn Humpty. Because what you thought you knew, you don't know. But it's not on Humpty to sit up here and be like, okay, well, come help me. Now, fuck that. You go see about Humpty. It's not a, well, when Humpty ready to come, Humpty is broken. Humpty is laying out with their parts outside. How the fuck Humpty gonna come knock on your door when Humpty laying out needing help? Go see about Humpty. Am I making sense? Go see about Humpty. How the hell Humpty gonna come see about you when Humpty is how? It don't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It genuinely does not make sense. Now, if you go see about Humpty after y'all had after y'all had the conversations and you've done the apologizing and then you're trying to make the steps for atoning, it takes two. So if Humpty didn't have the door open for you if the door was locked before the conversation and the door is now unlocked, how you gonna be able to know if the door unlocked if you don't test the door? Do you see what I'm saying? Now, if you knock on the door and you're asked to come in and then Humpty says, leave, then you can't do shit. Humpty didn't say what Humpty said, right? But you won't know what you can and can't get, or what you can and can't access until you try and see, right? So if you have a conversation with Humpty, you have the conversation with Humpty, the door was locked before, right? The door was locked before. Y'all had the conversation. Humpty has unlocked the door. You don't know that because you ain't see about Humpty. You waiting on Humpty to tell you that the door unlocked. Fuck that. Go see if the door unlocked. I don't know. Maybe I'm different. And maybe these people, maybe these peer-reviewed therapists and shit, maybe they different too. Because everybody understand, but the people who don't want to motherfucking actually do the restitutions don't understand it. How is it that this man named David understands that you need to do whatever you need to do and humble yourself and come to them? Come to them, not them come to you. You go to them because you wronged them. You go to them. And this man is a man who practices marriage and has a marriage recovery center. This man deals with marriage. He deals with marriage, successful practice when it comes to marriage. So if he's telling me that the person that wronged the individual needs to go to that person and see about them, why is it that you're going to try to convince me that I'm supposed to come to you? No, I won't. Not only did David not teach me that, my mama taught me that. My daddy taught me that. My family, my grandmother taught me that. My grandfather taught me that. I watched and I seen my friends have taught me that. So you think a person that, no, I don't give a fuck. No. Working in corporate business taught me that. If you wrong your coworker, you must go to them to make amends. You don't go to everybody else to see if they can talk to the coworker that you fucked over. You go talk to the coworker. And the questions that they ask you, the questionnaires that they ask you before you get the job, don't they ask you your situational awareness and how you handle dealing with people? If you have a discrepancy with your coworker, do you go to them or do you go to somebody else to get to them? They ask them kind of questions when you're trying to work in a corporate business. Do they not? They literally expect for you to have enough emotional intelligence to be able to go to the person that you have wronged and have the conversation. Now, what you can do is have a person in the space to regulate, a mediator. However, you have to go to them and have the conversation. In any job that I've ever worked, you know what happens? They want you to be able to communicate with this person whatever your grievances are before you bring a heavy dog in the building, in the space. What the fuck happened? If it wasn't nothing that was an SA or SH, you should be able to have the conversation. If it wasn't SA, SH, or a prejudice act, you should be able to have the conversation. And the Prejudice Act has to be something that is full violation. Like an actual violation, not no perceived, actual violation. Like I know for a fact you will lose your job behind this shit. Yay or nay? All right, so boom, let's keep going. So that was with the 3 R's. Remorse, responsibility, restitution. Okay? Now, here's the thing. When it comes to navigating this shit, right? You have to be able to sit with the remorse and the regret. Because how do you have remorse and not regret? That means that you ain't sorry for what you did. But I feel like it's also toxic people to be like, you should never have regret in life. Nah, motherfucker, I got some regrets. I got some bridges I've been burned before that I probably shouldn't have burned. And I understand it got me to where I was at, but it took me a long motherfucking time to get there. And if had I not done this action, it wouldn't have took me as long. I regret doing it how I did it. I understand that yes, I am where I need to be. I could have been in a better space though. But I'm not gonna do no what ifism. But I can acknowledge that the steps that I made was not conducive to what I had planned. I understand that everything worked out in his favor. However, the regret is acting in this fashion, doing this action, making or causing a person to then feel this. I can express regret and remorse for those things. Now, when I feel that in my body and I experience that emotion, then that would then lead me into the action of understanding, right? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Am I making sense here? This how I deal with my triggers and stuff. This is how I work through my shit on my own, right? This is how I work through me. This is how I work through me. This is me doing shadow work. This is how I work through me. Okay? This is me. It may not be for everybody. That's what I'm saying. This is me. I am not a clinical practitioner. Amen? I'm just telling you what worked for me. What has worked for me. It is working for me. Working in my good for me. Okay? All right. Everybody ain't perfect. I ain't perfect. You ain't perfect. This might not be perfect, but it helps me. And I hope it help you. Okay? So, if I sit with my remorse and my regret, and I feel that shit in my body, right? I feel it in full totality. I experience the emotions. I don't avoid the emotions. I don't avoid feeling the regret. I don't avoid feeling the pain. I don't avoid feeling sad. I don't avoid feeling like I'm fucked up. I don't avoid none of these feelings. I sit in it. I feel it in my body. The only way that you can actually move forward is to feel that shit in your body. Feel it, understand it, transmute it. That means you not about to sit up here and get to beating yourself up because you feeling it. No, you transmute the energy. So you turn that negative into a positive, right? So that remorse leads to action. So now you move forward or move towards a place of compassion, not only for yourself, but for the person that you harmed. You've transmuted the energy. You've transmuted the energy. You ain't sit, harbor it, let it fester. No, I sat. I was remorseful. Damn, I fucked up. I might even shed a tear. I feel regret. Damn, I feel fucked up. Damn, I really did that. That's fucked up. Damn, okay. Okay, I sat with that. I'm feeling it. Okay, so how I'm gonna change it? Action. It led me to action because I didn't like that feeling. I don't want to feel that shit again. And I could only imagine how the other person, if I feel this in my body, I can only imagine how the person who I've harmed feels. Because if I'm feeling this, imagine the pain you feeling. And I'm the one who wronged you, so I can imagine how you felt being wronged by me. That's the compassion. But the only way to get to them steps is the other steps that we took, y'all. The atoning. Forgive yourself. Learn from your mistakes. Seek forgiveness. Make amends. Be kind to yourself, right? You sincere with your remorse. A statement of responsibility. Your restitution. You can't get to none of this shit unless you've done that shadow work. You can't get to this part of feeling that actual compassion because you can't expect a person to be trying to give you all this consideration and compassion for you when you ain't even give it for yourself and ain't give it for them. You can't expect all that shit when you ain't gave it to them. And your level of giving it is based upon what you do within your bounds. within what you like. Hello? Because it's an unconditional thing. And if you're speaking about you in the way you're supposed to be giving compassion to others, it ain't compassion. If you acknowledging your feelings, you keep talking about I was wrong, I did this, I did that, I did this, I. You are not showing compassion if you ain't spoke to them. If you have not spoken to them, and them telling you how you made them feel is not them beating you up. Now, if they keep going and it's to a point where you've acknowledged, you've atoned, and they keep bringing it up, at that point, it's abuse. If you've atoned and you've changed your actions and you haven't done no fuck shit, and anytime they want some shit, they get to talking about how you fucked them over, that is abuse. If they get to bringing up shit that happened a long time, that is abuse. If y'all have atoned, made amends, apologize for that shit, move forward, and they bring up that shit from the past, that is abuse. And if they get mad at you bringing up they past, it is even more abuse. Because you don't get to bring up my past and I can't bring up yours. Hello? It is abuse. So you got a different level of reevaluating you got to do, because now you in an abusive ass relationship. Your friends could do it to you. Your kids could do it to you. Your spouse could do it to you. Your family members, your mama could do it to you. Your grandmother could do it to you. Heavy under your kids could do it to you. Remember you promised to do this for me when I was 5? That motherfucker 18. That's why I don't trust, because you promised me something when I was 5 and you never did it. Nigga, that is abuse. Guilt tripping me. Oh no, man. Oh no, sir. Don't guilt trip me, motherfucker. Get the hell on. But if you never follow those rules, you won't ever know you're being abused. You'll just keep trying. Exactly, Bambi. All right. Let's keep going. So you sit with your remorse and your regret. You feel it in your body. You experience the emotion. The remorse leads to action. The action moves you to a place of compassion for yourself and for the other person. That then fuels those compassionate feelings, and then you then get the intentions of wanting to be better. Right? So fueled by the passionate feelings, we move to setting an intention towards positive actions. You got to get through all them steps first. Niggas like to skip the steps. Y'all be skipping steps, skipping all kind of steps. They just want a quick fast. You want shortcuts. Life don't have no short. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Life don't have no shortcuts. Every time you try to take a shortcut, some fuck shit happen. Every time. Ain't no shortcuts, baby. As much as I wish that there was shortcuts, as much as I wish there was an easier way to go about it, no. That's not realistic. That don't mean you just take the hard route. That don't mean you just go the most difficult course. Hell no. That's not what I'm saying. But there ain't no shortcuts. Shortcuts is you trying to buck the system. That's how I look at shortcuts. We may have different understandings of shortcuts. However, a shortcut to me is you trying to like cheat your way out. A quicker way out. You don't want to go through the process. Now, my thing is, if you didn't place yourself in a situation to go through a hard process, that was your fault. You gotta. That's par for the course. What is it? Par for the course. You got to ride the course out. You got to ride that motherfucker out. You took that route. So you can't then take a hard motherfucking route and then get mad because it's so hard. You took that. You chose that. You accessed that. So now you got to complete the task. And you trying to skip steps ain't going to be able to allow you to complete the task. You going to keep finding yourself back on the same level. It's like a video game. You gonna keep finding yourself on the same level. You can't complete level 12 because you didn't try to skip level 12. So now, you can't complete to get to the next level. You're gonna keep repeating level 12 until you complete the task to move on to level 13. Because you chose a difficult game. Next, until we do these things, at that point, you are not serious about reestablishing mutual safety and trust in the connection. If you don't want to take them steps, you are not serious about reestablishing mutual safety. That means I can now trust in our connection. You can trust in me. I can trust in you. You're not, or we at least have a level ground. You might be up here. I might be down here. You might be up here. I might be down here. I might be up here. You might be down here. We supposed to be level like this. Level. Not like, even if we're not touching yet, there should be a mutual safety. Hello? Even if we ain't connected yet, there should be a mutual safety. It shouldn't be, and then y'all trying to get to each other. That's unsteady. That's unsafe. That's unsafe. It don't make sense. The only way it's gonna work is y'all gotta balance it the fuck back out before y'all even try to connect to a fuck thing. It needs to be. And then it could even, at least it could do this. At least it could do that. Even if it ain't getting, if it get closer, it's still gonna do this. It's still gonna do that. If it get closer, it's still gonna do that. But if y'all, but or you like, okay, well we could just connect. You connect and that motherfucker like this. Or it's like this. Or it's like this. Ain't no stability. There's no mutual safety there. I need to know that if I just so happen to jump over that motherfucker, it ain't gonna move. If I happen to jump over here, it's not gonna move. There has to be a level of consistency. Right, Bambi. Atonement is the step that most people skip overall. Like they skip that shit. The whole atonement, them 5 steps, people skip that shit. And they don't realize, well, no, they skip atonement because it requires actions to reestablish how we actually feel. You want me to feel for you again? There's going to be actions that you have to take so I can feel for you again. Because the feelings I have for you ain't the feelings I had before. Why? Because I'm hurt. You have hurt me. My feelings are hurt. I don't trust you anymore. So there has to be actions to chisel off some of that ice so that you can get to the heart. Because at this point, you done created an ice box. Your actions done created a whole ice box. So you got to chisel off that ice to get to their heart. But it's not something that happens in a week. It don't happen in a couple days. It don't happen within 24 hours. Oh no, baby, it take time. And when they ready, you'll know, because you've been and tried. You have been trying already. You would have been trying already. You see what I'm saying? The atonement, you would have been already doing actions and shit. So you would then be able to see that they're now accepting. But what happens is the selflessness leaves people in a vulnerable state because they don't know what you're feeling. They don't know what's going on in your head. They don't know if it's working or not. But guess what? If you actually gave a fuck about them, you will keep being consistent. Keep going. Keep going. I read in some marriage like therapists. I was reading some like peer reviews about like why relationships usually don't last or whatever the case may be. Do you know why they said that it don't be lasting when somebody fucked over somebody in a marriage? Because they don't be consistent. Because they want the person to just forgive and let go. And it don't work like that, and it ruins the entire marriage. Because they buy flowers one time and be like, so you still mad? Or they'll buy flowers for 2 weeks and then be like, okay, so you still mad? Then they also spoke to the marriages where the man must have used the or whoever it is that made a mistake. Them stopping because the person may have not been, responding. They kept doing it. They said till this day that person probably still sends flowers. They may not do it every day. They probably do it like once a week now. And for the rest of their time together, they have made it a constant thing to always send flowers. And they're still together. Marriage is still going. Send flowers and still send flowers every week. Because they're still apologetic and remorseful and actively atoning for what they did. And a little flower bouquet once a week don't hurt shit. And I know that my partner or this person likes it. Lack of effort changes everything. Yes. The action, the active effort of wanting to atone for your actions. And then you wonder, and then what's crazy is they said, when I was reading, they said that their atonement also makes it easy for their partner, if their partner makes a mistake, to atone for their actions because they actively see that this person has been remorseful to them and have been atoning for their actions, actively doing the things that they need to do. So if they fuck up, it's easy for them to give and pour back into their spouse because that person's already been doing it for them. But here's the thing, that person never stopped giving those flowers once a week, even though that person had fucked up. They still give the flowers. Even though you fucked up, I still give you the flowers. And then this person now finds a way to make them feel better. Or this person likes Chick-fil-A. Every Wednesday, I'll buy them Chick-fil-A. So you get your flowers on Wednesday, I get my Chick-fil-A once a week. I don't stop what I'm doing for you. You like to go to the beach and shit? All right, I'm going to take your ass to the beach. We go every couple months. One person said, I know that my wife likes, he said he knows that his wife likes to go shopping. So every couple months, he just lets her splurge. Just use the card. I don't give a fuck. Max out. I don't give a fuck. That's what he said. And when she had fucked up, he liked, I think he liked shoes or some shit, or he liked, what was it? It was something like he liked to go to like car shows or some shit like that. So like she would like look up stuff like that he liked or whatever, and like she got him like collectibles. Like she thought of things that he would probably like. She got him collectibles and then took him to like a car show and some other shit. Surprised him, he didn't expect that shit or whatever it was, but it made a difference. Because now you're showing me that you're thinking about me. That you understand, okay, I'm remorseful for this. I apologize. This is my way of showing you, and I won't stop showing you because I care about you. Because I fuck with you. Child. Let me know if y'all want my notes. I'll send y'all my notes. It won't have all the things I said on here, but my notes is there. Because, baby, I was writing my ass off. I was like, this makes sense. You want my notes? Baby. It's so crazy because I was sitting here like, what does that look like for me? What am I looking for? I'm hungry. On my mom, on my hood, I look fly, I look good. Good. Fly. I look. Hey, baby.
Hey, boo. I just wanted to say instead of typing, because I've been typing, girl, because I love it. I love it. I love it. But I want your notes because, I've been on my own journey, and I said in the comments earlier, like, I kind of put a stop hold on it because it got to be overwhelming for myself, right? So I have now recognized, and that's why I love being in your space because, I'm on the messy side and I do partake in the messy, but for my own soul, like for my own spirit, sometimes I really need to hear things that align with my real life. And this topic and this conversation today it encouraged me to get back into the healing of myself because I had done so much work. I had got to a place and I got some answers and I got to a place where I was satisfied with that. And not in a negative way, in a sense of I see, it gave clarity and it gave me some peace. But now I think that things are starting to happen around me. And like I said, this conversation has brought me back to, okay, we're not going to keep asking why, and not doing the work to really figure out why. Yeah, baby, I need them notes. I need them notes.
I got you. I'm about to get my ass up off this live. It's 4:00 over here. I should have my page. By tonight. And tomorrow we finna be battling our ass off. Hello? I told y'all we gonna be battling hard this week because my page, I gotta get my they took my page for a whole 7 days. So we gotta go crazy. I love y'all. I like y'all. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all are amazing. If nobody told you that they love you, I love you. I love you a whole lot. I like you. I appreciate you. I am grateful for you. You are amazing. You are needed here in this space, and I'm grateful to have you in this space, each and every one of you. Y'all mean a whole lot to me. Without you, where would I be, I don't know. I'll see y'all in the Discord.